What's going on, everybody? I'm Danny Kleppinger, and for today's America East Alumni Network Close-Up, we are blessed to have Temi Bajulaiye join us. He graduated from Binghamton University in 2016. You may remember him from his track and field days, but he's had an awesome career so far now in the real world. But Temi, so excited to pick your brain.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this will be really fun. Now, tell people a little bit about what you've been up to. You've done a lot in the sports industry, mostly with universities and sports media, which I think is extremely cool. Obviously, that's kind of my realm as well. So why don't you tell people what you're up to? Because right now you're at Babson College.
Yeah, literally right now I'm actually at Babson College. I'm in my office.
Oh, wow.
We're back on campus now, which is awesome. And currently here I'm the multimedia specialist. I get to handle the videos, the graphics. I like to say I get to do the fun part of working in sports other than competing. And it's been a great.
And you handle all the behind the scenes. Now we're throwing you in front of the camera now. Is that what I'm guessing?
Yeah, this is probably the first time I've actually been on camera in years, so it's good to be back.
He looks like a seasoned vet, doesn't he, you guys? Okay, well, I do want to talk to you specifically about Babson just because this pandemic has affected everybody, but it's no secret how it's affected the sports industry and specifically colleges. So I did see that Babson canceled fall sports, but what has that meant for you? What have sort of the hurdles been during this time, and how have you navigated that?
It was interesting. We canceled sports back in the spring, and when that happened, we were like, what's next? What do we do? How do we pivot? How do we adapt? And I think that we did a pretty good job of staying positive and trying to figure out new things we can do. We gave our seniors a chance to kind of close out their final semester by giving them reflections to do, doing Zoom interviews, having a virtual banquet, which I thought was pretty awesome. And now we're back on campus and we're hoping to cover practices, do some scrimmages within our own teams, and just still make it fun.
How has being a student athlete in the past helped you now in your career?
I definitely think that the lessons I learned on the track and outside the track definitely carry over now. Something I always say is the workouts we did at Binghamton were so hard that there's nothing in life that we can do that will ever be harder than that. So whenever I'm getting down, or if I feel like I can't do something, I'm like, well, it's like one time we had this workout where coach made us do this and that, and this isn't as hard as that.
Amen to that. I understand. I could not run another suicide if someone asked me to, probably. So I was a basketball player, so it's a little bit different than track and field. That was like normal for you. You probably would have brushed through a suicide and no big deal, but no thanks. I'm retired from that life, but I understand the difficulty that you're talking about. I do want to zero in a little bit more on exactly your job, because you have mentioned how being a student athlete has helped you. How has it helped you in wanting to be a little bit more eager in your position? What advice would you give to people, maybe alumni that are watching, that maybe are at a place that they enjoy, but maybe want to do more? How would you go about that situation?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about where I'm at now and how I got here is I was an econ major in college, and I don't know why I was an econ major. It just seemed like a cool title at the time when I picked the freshman year. And it wasn't until my SID and my athletics department reached out to me saying, hey, we see some of the things you're posting on social media, like, do you want to enter our department? And that was the first time in my senior year where I learned, oh, wow, like there's a whole job behind what you see out there. And ever since then, I was like, I want to make sure that my presence is known on campus, that the student athletes know that I'm there to support them, because I had that support during my years, and to be able to give back to the next set of kids, the next generation, has been pretty fun.
Well, that's really cool. And I'm sure you have some really creative ideas that you bring to the table there just because of your background. What would you say to maybe graduating seniors or juniors, people that are starting to look towards what their career might be? What would be your advice to them on how to maybe zero in on what they want to do, or something to focus on to get them set up for a great job?
Yeah, something I always say, and I might preach it way too much, but it's always, your major doesn't define your job. Your major in college was the way you learn things, and you might have majored in science, but if you want to get into banking or getting to working in sports, go for it. Like, there's nothing that can stop you from that, and don't feel like you should be pigeonholed into doing what you were doing 4 years ago.
I think that's great advice. And the fact that you get to continue in sports, even though you thought maybe it'd be economics and you weren't sure what that looked like, is pretty cool. What has it meant to you to be able to continue a career in a sports industry?
It's been awesome. I mean, after I graduated, I got to work at Penn State. I worked with the track and field team there, and they made me feel like I was part of the team.
Yeah.
And work at BAPS, and all the coaches here definitely, welcome me with open arms. They give me gear, let me travel with them, they let me join team activities. So it's been cool knowing that just because I'm not, competing or racing anymore, I get to still have that team aspect of life.
Yeah, you're still a part of a team. That's so much fun. I would like to. That's a great idea. It's like you never had to graduate,
Oh,
but you did.
kind of.
I love that. Okay, my final question for you is just what it's when you reflect on your time in the America East and with Binghamton specifically, what was so special about that time for you, and how has it actually been moving forward and beyond America East, being able to stay connected with things like you and I are doing right now?
My experience was awesome. I mean, when I think back about it, when I was in college, I always thought I'd look back and say, all right, I won this many races, or we have this many titles.
Mhm.
But thinking back now, I'm like, the titles, the races, like that part of time what I reflect on, it's like the times I had outside practice, the times we had during preseason. And I'm fortunate to still be living with my college roommate. We actually just moved in together again.
Wow.
I was in a recruiting class of 30 freshmen, and 15 of us live in Boston. So we're always hanging out, we're always meeting up. Every major holiday we're together. And then even being in Boston with America East being located in Boston, I got
Mhm.
to a Red Sox event this past summer, and it was cool to meet and see old friends, meet new friends, and just kind of network a little bit.
Wow, that's so cool that you've been able to keep in touch with everybody so much and then meet new people. Well, it has been completely awesome getting to know you. I wish we had more time, but I know that you're a busy person as you are literally at work as we speak. So thank you so much. And where can people follow you on social media or reach out to you to find you to get more information from you, maybe learn something?
Yeah, my all my social media handles are at Temi Baj, TEMIBAJ. Feel free to reach out. I'm always here to talk. I'm always open for a good conversation, and always want to help the next generation out.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Temi.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Danny.